有朋友在留言区说想要听奶奶的故事，因为觉得奶奶是一个从容优雅、思想开放又有气质，然后正好我们想和大家一起来聊一下怎么养育孩子，就是确实如我们所说的，女孩要富养，男孩要穷养。可以一起来看一下奶奶以前的一些旧照片、老照片。这是奶奶和她的爸爸妈妈小时候的照片。
I was about three or four.
奶奶认为是读书和教育改变了她的一生，所以她现在一直保持着阅读和学习的习惯。
I'll tell you some of my favorite memories. We only had one car, and so when I was little, and so my mom would drive my dad to work. Sometimes we had to wait. My mother always read to me every 5 days a week. We'd have quite a while of reading, constant reading, all kinds of books, children's books. And
At home or
in the car?
In the car.
And at home. But that was always a time just in the car that we would read every, Monday through Friday.
So you finished high school in California and came here to BYU.
In my sophomore year, my second year semester, I went to the University of Grenoble in France. We had a lot of travel. We got to travel a lot and see all of Europe. It was really a nice experience. And, you kind of come home with a whole different view of the world. I went to school with kids from every country. And that was really a good thing. And I think it kind of opened my eyes to what I could do when I graduated from college. Like I taught French.
奶奶的爸爸认为教育才是人生最大的保险，并鼓励她的妈妈重新回到学校去接受教育，这给了她们3姐妹很大的鼓励。
I had to go to Italy, for 2 years during the war. But then, so my parents decided to go to Southern California. When I was in junior high school, my mom went to my dad and said, I think we need to buy more life insurance. He said the best life insurance would be for you to get an education. And so she went back to school. It took her 7 years. And she graduated and she taught school.
Who took care of you guys when grandma's in school?
Well, by then Marcia was in school all day, like she was in first grade. So my mom would only go while we were in school. Then she got a job teaching and she taught for about 20 years. And during that time, my father died when he was 59, which is not very old. He had cancer. She had plenty of money and to take care of herself. My parents were very careful with money. Very careful. My father died. My mom stayed in California for 5 more years and then sold her house for cash. She had paid it off and then built a home here. But that was such a good example to me. And I remember my mother always saying, it would be better instead of more life insurance, you ensure that you can take care of yourself. You never be married and your husband you could divorce. They could die. They could have health issues. And you have to be prepared that you should do something with yourself after children are raised. Go do something. Enjoy yourself. Make friends. And she loved teaching. She was a great teacher. She taught gifted children, 4th and 5th grade. It was a real kind of a new lease on life. I saw my mom sort of start to bloom, when she had her job and her friends. And my dad was really very supportive of that. That's why I always thought, well, after my kids are older, I'll go work. That was just part, because I lived like that. I'll be with them when they're little. I happened to be with my kids later till, Ashley was even out of high school.
奶奶说她得到了父母的宠爱，但从未被溺爱。她有着明确的目标，她努力学习，努力经营自己的人生。
The little sister when I was 7 and 10. It's not real common. I don't think I was spoiled. I didn't get tons of toys. They treated me like I still had to do my best. I still had to work. I had to clean my room. I had to, I just didn't get a free pass. We spent all of our time, I lived in California. It was always nice weather. We skated roller skates. We rode our bikes. We played baseball in the streets. We just played and played constantly. But my parents were really careful about my grades. And I was the oldest child. I wanted to please them. I wanted to do well. And I was a rule keeper. I felt like I had a lot of support from my parents' friends. They were always bragging about that I would do well in school. And so I felt like I better continue to do that,
Do you have this feeling? I have this feeling. And my parents was really telling me at that time, she said, you have to do good at your school.
Yeah.
Because when the parents get together, they will talk about their kids, talk about their grades, talk about their studying at school. One time I can still remember my parents said, you are not doing good at school. They will say, whose kid is not being good at school.
Yeah, so it reflects on your parents.
So sometimes I'm a little bit confused. I'm studying for myself or I'm studying
for your parents
to please my parents.
Yeah.
So do you have that feeling?
I think I felt that if I didn't do well, I would disappoint them. I didn't want to disappoint them.
They give you lots of pressure?
No,
push you,
but just, or you can do better. There was always the expectation I would go to college.
Yeah.
And so you have to get good grades so you can go to a good school. And I didn't want to let them down because I was the oldest. I think another thing too, that I was the oldest child and I was the oldest grandchild. I think I felt expectations not just from my family, but from my extended family because I was the oldest.
在这样环境下长大的奶奶，在她养育了自己的孩子之后，重新回到学校读书，并成为了一名教师。
Raised the kids, and I thought, what should I do? I hadn't spoken French for years. So then I went back to school just to kind of see. I went back and I finished a degree in humanities. While I was teaching, I did classes at night to get a reading endorsement, which was another 2-year program to be a reading specialist. I actually took classes when we lived in Massachusetts. I just took classes for fun. I took classes in American history. I took economics class. When we lived here, I took some biology. Teacher picture.
After she raised the kids and she went back to school, I got her master's certificate.
And the funny story that day is Holly got her master's degree. Because all of our family was there and they had these big signs. That's my mom, that's my grandma.
奶奶和她的大女儿是同一天从研究生毕业，是不是很神奇？奶奶不仅努力用功读书，而且还走在时尚的前沿。That's wedding picture.
Well, I just found it in a magazine from Saks Fifth Avenue in New York, and my neighbor said, I can make that. She did all that. She ordered the pearls from China, and then she sewed them all. I mean, she just copied the picture, very straight and very plain.
It's pretty. This is Grandma and Grandpa's wedding picture. That's their cake.
Yeah.
That's a really fancy cake. Even you see from right now, it's not. It's a really fancy cake. 奶奶说，现在的70岁其实就是新50岁。她还不老，她还年轻，她还有很多事情想要去做，她还有很多旅行计划想要去实现。How do you keep your life like busy?
I wish I could say I just sit around. I could sit around today alone. Well, I walk. I always have a lot of involvement with church things. I like to help my neighbors, and I have a lot of children. Help take care of Maggie.
Do you like to read?
I like to read. I have a book club that I go to. And my book this month is 670 pages. I go visit my mom fairly often because she's 100 and take care of. I have a house to take care of. It takes a lot of work.
Do you think at this age, like at your 70s, lots of people like your age still keep in good health?
I think so.
It's really normal here, right?
Yeah, 70 isn't very old at all. And even in 80s, I heard one time that 70 is the new 50. People live longer and they're healthy. And that we don't think of elderly now till they're about 90. And Mary was telling me, my friend Mary, said that husband's mother died at 90. And her sisters were so upset. His sister, the mother's sister, because one was 102 and one was 106. And they said she died an untimely death. We travel. We want to travel more.